Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. It is December 24th, 2024. It's a long time. That is 1,203 broadcasts. It is day 445 of war. We have come together every single day to learn Torah together, to find each other, to say good morning, Jen, and Annie, and Penny, Bensi, and Arlene, and Barry. Boker Tov, it's good to see all of you. It's good just to say good morning. And so I hope that you and yours are well. Lisa, it's good to see you. Richard and Debbie, Linda, good to see you. Rosa and Anya, Lydia and Carl, Barbara and Shari, good morning. Arlene and Helen, Deborah and Judy, Boker Tov. Boker Tov. All right. Stan, sending love to Anguilla. Really amazing that you're there and here. Siona, Boker Tov. You're visiting your mother today, sending her love in addition to the love that you are bringing, bring all of ours. Amy, today would have been your parents' 73rd anniversary. Bless their memories, bless their love too. Arlene and Jack, Peter, good to see you. Linda and Natalie, Deborah and Sharon, Susan, Deborah, and Linda. Good morning, friends. Beautiful to be together this morning. Here we go. Let's take a breath, sing a bracha. We'll learn some Torah. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It is snowing out my window, and so I'm wishing everyone a sweet time if snow is around you, a safe time if snow is around you. It's good to see all of you here. For those of us who are not Jewish, I am wishing you a beautiful, happy, joyous, Merry Christmas. And for those of us who are getting ready for Hanukkah tomorrow night, let's get ready for some joy. Let's bring some light into the world. There is a lot going on, and I wanted to make sure that we dedicated our learning today to the memory of Hannah Katzir. She was taken hostage by Hamas on October 7th, was released in November, in the only negotiated release, and her health was incredibly compromised in captivity for the month. She was 78 when she died. She was 77 when she was kidnapped. May her memory be for a blessing, and may we spend all of our energy on making sure that we protect, preserve, heal, and bring home the rest of the hostages. So, a lot on our minds, and let's Let's learn some Torah in Chana's memory and also to strengthen ourselves, to bring in the light, to know that there needs to be space for joy as well. So we're holding all of it together, friends. In Parshat Miketz, there's a lot of action, and there is the beginning of healing, but you don't know that when you're in the story, and let's be in the story for a moment. Joseph, if you remember, was resented by his brothers for being more beloved by their father. He was the messenger of God's dreams about the future, which included him one day standing while his brothers bowed to him. Because of their resentment, they sell him into slavery. He gets bought by Potiphar, kind of a viceroy in Egypt. Potiphar's wife accuses him of sexual assault. Joseph gets put in jail. Joseph reveals the dreams of a butler and a baker who are in jail as well. The baker will be killed. The butler will be restored to his position as Pharaoh's butler. He is restored. It's that kind of story. Then Pharaoh has dreams. And remember, dreams are messages from God. And so Pharaoh's dreams are about the impending years of plenty and then the years of famine. It is very powerful then to see the dreams that Joseph had as a child come true, because the only one who can interpret Pharaoh's dream is Joseph. The dreams end up privileging Joseph in Pharaoh's eyes. Joseph does indeed become second in command in Egypt. And then the famine hits. The famine of Pharaoh's dreams hits. And Joseph has organized all of Egypt to weather the storm. And Egypt is the cosmopolitan center of the ancient world. And so when Joseph's brothers actually show up asking for food, he recognizes them, but they do not recognize him. He has grown up. His physical self is different than it used to be. And they do bow to him just as it was in his dream. But what is really interesting and a focus for our attention today is that he doesn't present himself as himself. He recognizes his brothers. They do not recognize him, and he does not reveal himself. And there's confusion around this, because in fact, in the dream, this is what happens. The dream has come true. Joseph doesn't have to be arrogant, saying, "See, I told you," but he could say, "Rise, my brothers, it is I." And yet there's a story that is strange and involved and intense, and it continues. But it begins in this chapter of it with his disguising himself, not revealing himself, and it's not clear why he doesn't. So what I'd like to offer is a comment by Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, who was a Hasidic Rebbe. And he says, I'm just quoting here, "It is a sign of Joseph's righteousness that he did not immediately reveal himself. Joseph realized that it would be humiliating to his brothers if they knew that he had prevailed over them. And despite their cruel treatment of him, his dream of power had come true. And so by making himself a stranger, he made it appear that his brothers were simply bowing to a king, sparing them the pain of humiliation." I'm not really sure how to read that. It answers a question I didn't have, but it raises a healthy question. How do we make sure to show dignity to others? Perhaps Joseph was aching, and we see it later, that he was truly aching to let out his own heart, his own tears, his own pain, maybe even his own healing, to reunite with his brothers. He puts them through a test which is anything but dignified next. But in this moment, at least according to this read, his intention was to show them kindness, to think about the needs of others first. Hanukkah is a very complicated holiday coming up. When you actually look at the core origin story of the holiday, It is very much about the navigation of identity of the individual or the subculture in a dominant culture. What does assimilation mean? What does community mean? What does faith mean? What are the demands of identity? All of this is true. But for just this moment, isn't it powerful to think about Joseph's kindness the way Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev is suggesting? Isn't it beautiful to think after all these years that Joseph wanted to spare his brother's humiliation? He knows, at least he will present later, that all the things that have happened, even all the things they did, were part of a plan. Now, you and I might take issue with that theology. I do. But just for a minute, being gentler on Joseph, gentler on the brothers, gentler on God, gentler on ourselves, gentler on each other. I'm not saying this is a consistent theology, but isn't it nice just for a moment to be kind? To feel kindness surging from within. You know, it's interesting, of course, the differences between Christmas and Hanukkah are enormous. Hanukkah is unrelated completely from Christmas, but in a North American culture, especially within the United States of America, the conflation is due to it being a winter holiday. And in fact, Christmas has influenced the observances of Hanukkah, including gift giving, which is truly not connected to Christmas either, but in an American context did. In the 1920s, Yiddish newspapers took out ads encouraging Jewish families to buy gifts for their kids because we saw how appealing that experience was for our Christian neighbors. All of this is strange and important and nuanced, but just like somehow Christmas becomes an experience, at least in the Christmas movies, and some of them are really funny, some of them are really enchanting. They're supposed to be about kindness, which is actually not the origin story of Christmas, of course. And the origin story of Hanukkah clearly is not about kindness. It's about the fierce light and Jewish pride. But isn't it nice just for a moment to be gentler, to be kind, and let that be everything we aim for? Is it the whole story? No. Is it a good story? Yes. If only this world could be graced with more kindness. What do you need before what do I want? Wouldn't that be nice? So Joseph's decision to show kindness to his brothers, and this is of course through the reed of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, isn't that nice? So I wish us a day, friends, that is gentler, that is kind, that is full of light, that is sweet, that is loving, where we wonder about what each other needs. I offer us that, just an invitation to kindness. So think just for a moment about what today can look like for you and for those around you. And then do the same thing tomorrow. Just a little bit more kindness. Let's sing. Let's send our hearts to the east. Let's remember our loved ones and bless them with kindness too. Kol hod balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends. However you celebrate, have a beautiful day.